Holy cow. Well, we got a lot of topics we want to discuss, sports related. So let's get right into it. What? Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. Whew. Okay, before we get into it, I got a comment on one of my videos about Gilmore Girls. What do I think of it? I can't give you an opinion on something I never watched. Sorry. Okay, so, well, I had a video. I recorded it the other day, and I probably shouldn't have recorded it. I probably shouldn't. If I did record it, I should have just deleted it and never uploaded it. I went against my better judgment with, what was it called, Just a Cow? Oh, yes. The war of drugs is confusing, and my wife likes to talk, which she does. I didn't know that the video was political based. I didn't really think about it. But then I seen I was getting some comments about political stuff, and I'm trying, that's my ethic, trying to stay away from it. So when I upload this video today, because I am actually recording a video and uploading it on the same day, I haven't done that in a while. So as I record this, I have deleted it. It's permanently gone because I think it was becoming too political based. I'm trying to stay away from that. It's a challenge. Don't get me wrong. It is a serious challenge. Now, one other thing. What? Oh yes, my ongoing series of Why Did It Fail. I haven't recorded it yet, but do expect that video about Coy and Vance, and I did make a slight mistake on it when I talked about it about the movie that failed, Dukes of Hazzard movie. I will be doing the video Coy and Vance later this week. I've had to make some edits to my video. When I do record it, I have to do it in one setting, but be that as it may. So do expect that video sometime this week. I'm not sure when. It might be about the middle of the week or towards the end of the week. It'll be somewhere between the middle of the week and the end of the week. So do expect that video on Why Did It Fail. Okay, now we have some topics to discuss. Oh boy, I do not like this one. This one's tough because I'm a diehard Chiefs fan, and I have no idea what has happened to the Chiefs. I can't figure it out. They're Jekyll and Hyde. They're more Hyde this year. Ever since their Super Bowl, where they laid a rotten egg, they really haven't been very good. They're pretty much eliminated from playoff contention, it looks like. They're 6-7. They lost to the Texans. This has been one of the Chiefs' worst years since pre-Andy Reid. And been lucky as a Chiefs fan. I am actually a diehard Chiefs fan. I'm not a bandwagon fan. I'm actually a diehard Chiefs fan. I was born that way, but my biological father was a Chiefs fan. And unfortunately, so is my brother. I think my brother's just copying me with that more than anything else. What? Yes. Moving on from that. And the Chiefs need to fix a lot. They need to fix a lot. Their offensive line, their defense. I also think it's time for Andy Reid to retire. There really isn't much left for him to do. And with how he's done since the Super Bowl, he really hasn't done too well. And the Chiefs are going to have to make some changes in the offseason because the chance of them being in the playoffs is less than 0%. So unfortunately, I have to discuss about the Chiefs, and it's not been good. It's not been good for the Chiefs this year, and a lot of people are happy about it, the non-Chiefs fans. You know what? Be that as it may. And now we're going to, just a cow. What should we discuss next? Here's the two topics. Okay. I like that. I like that choice, Just a Cow. It's a good choice. The Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. You know, Hall of Fames, not just Major League Baseball, but NFL, NBA, used to be for the best available players to go into the Hall. And there's a lot of controversy. That's a word I'm going to be using at another point in this video. There's a lot of controversy in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. I thought they were going to let Pete Rose in. I'm a little confused on that one. That was a story a few months back after he passed away. I thought they were going to let Pete Rose into the Hall of Fame. That one's a little confusing. You want in the window? Okay. Hang on a minute. Okay. Two lights in the window, and I just get in our way. But I thought they were going to let Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. Don Mattingly was left off. Okay, that's... I don't know if Don Mattingly has enough to get into the Hall of Fame, but usually over 2,000 hits was enough. Gary Sheffield? He's not in the Hall of Fame? Remember when it was almost guaranteed? I said almost guaranteed because I got something else coming up with the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. That it was almost guaranteed that if you hit 500 home runs, you were going to be in the Hall of Fame. And Gary Sheffield, one of the greatest power hitters of all time, is not in the Hall of Fame. Does that make a lot of sense? No, it does not. And so, Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens. Okay, we are certain, at least I'm certain, that Bonds used steroids. Notwithstanding, should he be in the Hall of Fame? I don't know. Just Cal, what do you think? Yeah, okay, yeah, you got a point. There is other people in the Halls of Fame that shouldn't be there, but Barry should be there. Maybe, maybe not. That's up for subject for debate. One that's not up subject for debate is Roger Clemens. I don't believe for the life of me, I'm not going to even talk about what Trump said, making this non-political, but to me, I've always said this for a long, long time, since that list came out of who used steroids. Clemens, I don't believe did. Bonds, you can see his numbers did change drastically on the uptick. You can pretty much, go, okay, yeah, he did use steroids. Clemens, his numbers stayed pretty much the same throughout his career. How could you have one of the greatest pitchers of all time on the Mount Rushmore, no doubt, not in the Hall of Fame? The Major League Baseball Hall of Fame is run by writers. That's not good. Baseball writers who probably don't know everything about Major League Baseball. I don't tend to know everything about Major League Baseball. I don't follow baseball like I used to. But I do know Roger Clemens should be in the Hall of Fame. He really should be. Should Bonds? That's up for debate. Should McGwire? Should Sosa? That's all up for debate. What I think it is Major League Baseball believe that they have this dark mark on their sport, which they do, and they don't want their Hall of Fame to have names like Sosa and McGwire and Bonds, Clemens in the Hall of Fame for supposedly using steroids. That is what it is. But how can you have some of the greatest players in the Hall and not in the Hall of Fame because you want to basically pay Men in Black, put that thing up to your face and say, hey, they never existed? That's what they're trying to say. That's pretty much what they're trying to say. There's people in the Hall of Fame in all sports, even NASCAR, that shouldn't be there. That should not be there at all. I mean, that's just the way it is. But, I don't know. This is such a subject for debate. It really, really is. And speaking of a subject for the debate, the college football playoffs, the NCAA football playoffs, let me tell you something. If you've been watching NCAA football for the past 35, 40 years, you know there is a lot of controversy and a lot of debates. It used to be pretty easy to figure out. Number one, number two should face for the national championship. Not the way it always happened, but that's the way it should have happened. You know, in the BCS era, it was up for debate. Sometimes it happened, sometimes it didn't. And then they tried the 4-team playoff. Okay, that created a lot of controversy in and of itself. So then they thought, okay, now we're going to try the 12-team playoff. And has it worked? It's almost a subject video. Eventually I can do a why did it fail. But trust me, I have some reasons why it did fail, because it's going to fail. And it seems like it's already failing. It's not even the 12 best teams anymore. It's what the college football committee thinks, who they think should be in the college football playoffs. Okay, if you noticed how heavy it is, what do I mean by heavy? By the powerhouses. Okay, Indiana's having one of their greatest one-year runs of all time. So that is totally a surprise. Indiana's not a college football powerhouse. Basketball, yes, but not football. But you notice the teams that are the big-time programs like the Ohio State, the Alabama, we'll get into that. You know, programs like that are supposed to, that they want to be there. It's not necessarily the 12 best teams. It's really not. It's really not. So they're trying to do a seeding. This ain't working. This is clearly not working, the seeding process. It doesn't really work in NCAA basketball either, because a lot of times your seeds upset the higher seeds. And so it's not the 12 best teams, it's the 12 programs the committee wants in the college football playoffs. All extending James Madison. Okay, James Madison is a complete and utter surprise that they're even there. I don't think they should be there, but that good standing. Now, here's something that really doesn't make sense. And I have a lot to discuss here with this. First of all, we have Alabama. Should they be in the college football playoffs? No, they should not be there. They have 3 losses. There are a lot of teams that have 2 losses. They have 3. They lost pretty badly to Georgia in the SEC championship game. So Alabama should not be there. The only reason they are there is because, one reason, their storied history. I swear, at this point, they would put Alabama in the college football playoffs if they had a 6-7 record. They would just put them based on their storied history and the amount of national championships that they have. I swear at this point, that's what they do with Alabama. They just put them there when they shouldn't even be there. I mean, they should have been left off of the college football playoffs, and some other team should have been in their place that does not have like 3 losses, like maybe Vanderbilt, or what? Yes, Notre Dame. Okay, they lost their first 2 games of the season. They started 0-2. All right, so be it. But they ran their schedule, their independent schedule. There's a lot to unpack here at Notre Dame. So they won their last 10 games. There's no conference championship game with them because they're still an independent 95 years later. I'm going to get into that too. And so they only had 2 losses. So they were 10-2. So I would be talking about this. They put them in instead of Alabama, but no, they put Alabama in, and so that creates that problem. So, and my cat got in the closet. Hang on a minute. Unedited. Or our cat did. Get! Alright, Mr. Cow, where was I? Oh yes, Alabama. Before I lost my train of thought, there's no way that they should be in the college football playoffs. No, Notre Dame should have been there, but because of their storied history, I think I went into all that, trying to get back on my train of thought here. And Notre Dame, who's mad That's not the way to handle it. Is mad that they didn't get into the college football playoff with a 10-2 record. With a 10-2 record, I said that right. So that they decided that on the bowl invite that they declined it. Okay, Iowa State did that, but they were 8-4 and they weren't going to get in the college football playoffs as it is. I think they're just doing it because they don't really have a head coach or whatever. But anyway, be that as it may. So Notre Dame decided, nope, we're not going to go to a bowl invite. We're not going to go to a bowl game. Well, wait a minute. What happened? What happened to that was very important for teams. That was their goal, especially if you were in the non-power conferences, to where your goal was to reach a bowl game because it's very prestigious and a lot of money involved. But because you're Notre Dame, you can turn this down because you're an independent. Why? What? We're going in 2026. What's the point of an independent program? Seriously. You have all these schools that are switching conferences that they've been a part of for years and years, and they've been going to deciding to go to different bigger conferences. Some teams of Mountain West, and they went to a bigger conference, more money and, more prestige and more TV time and all that. So they've been leaving these smaller conferences going to bigger conferences. Isn't it time Notre Dame joins a conference? Yes, I know during that weird year in COVID, they were in the ACC and what have you. But for that was it. That was totally it. That they went back to being independent. They've been independent for as long as I can remember. And the only reason they do it is for TV time, to share the conference with some lower tier teams. And there's so many weird looking excuses of that, of why they still stay independent. But football's the only one. In any other sport that Notre Dame is in, they are in ACC, whether it be hockey, whether it be basketball, whatever it may be, baseball, whatever it may be, they're in the ACC. But even, I don't think ACC would be a good conference for them. I think they would be a good conference in the Big Ten. But be that as it may, maybe Notre Dame should think about joining a conference, because in being independent really hasn't helped their case. I think that's another reason that they didn't get the college football invite, is because Alabama is from the SEC. I know Notre Dame made the playoffs last year and a few years prior, but I don't think that helped them this year. I really don't. I don't think that helped them. And even though Alabama had 3 losses, even though they shouldn't be in the college football playoff, I don't think that helped Notre Dame being an independent, and Alabama's an SEC school. So I don't think that really helped their cause at all. I really, really don't. But wow. Boy, a lot went on yesterday in the sports world, and I tried to cover what I wanted to cover. And was there anything else I wanted to cover? No, I don't think so either. I think I pretty much covered everything I wanted to cover in almost a 20-minute video. And yes, I'm going to upload this video today. Might take a while because almost 20 minutes of me being a blowhard. But be that as it may. And, well, so like I said, expect later in the week, expect the Why Did It Fell video. I'm not sure when it will be. It'll be sometime between the middle of the week and the end of the week. But do expect that.